Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Elden Ring MALENIA, or MALENIA, Blade of Miquella. And now, I want to do a question of the day right away, guys, because I haven't played a Souls-like yet, and I really want to, and I'm torn between a few, and I want your guys' input. I want to play Elden Ring, I want to play Lords of the Fallen, and I want to play Lies of P. And maybe Wuchang? I don't know. Tell me which one I should play. Which one do you guys recommend the most if you've played any of them? I'm curious because I really want to play one. And I don't have any time, so I haven't yet, but I will at some point have more time and I need help. Anyway, this figure is of a pretty cool character design. Did Bandai botch it, or did they do a good job? Lately, they've been botching a lot of stuff. I'm really hopeful that they did a good job, though. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. I think it's a good package. They did a thing that Bandai doesn't normally do. They moved the figure over so that you could see it in the window, rather than leaving it in the center and having it blocked. So, I think that's great. It's a really, really appealing package. Big photo of the figure on the front. They could probably tone that down because it's the same thing, so you don't really need that. But still, it's a really good looking package. You can see the sword, main figure. Yeah, looks pretty good. A little bit concerning because it doesn't show the figure doing anything particularly interesting. We have a little bit of posing going on the back. Yeah, it's maybe not the most dynamic package, but it is not a bad one, and they have all their stuff right here, shrunken down so they get more going on. It's better than a lot of the anime packaging lately, so that's pretty good. Good package if you care about that sort of thing, and I think most people are down for a good package. Alright, let's talk about this. It is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below. She stands about 7 1/4 inches, not counting the little Thor wingtip thingies, and that's going to make her about, let's say, 18.5 centimeters. Here she is up against Darwin, so you can see she's got a lot of size to her. She's pretty dang tall, which is appropriate. It's not a larger scale figure, it's a normal figure art scale. She's supposed to be extra tall, so that's good. And it does come with a hefty price tag, so we'll see if it actually lives up to that price point. So let's talk about this. It's at first glance pretty visually appealing. Other than the plasticky nature of this piece right here, it's really shiny, but it's not, doesn't look like it's supposed to be, and it's not quite the same color as the rest of her clothing. So the coloring isn't great on that, but the rest looks pretty nice. These dangly bits aren't all completely separate, but they're pretty good. Paint's nice. You can see the paint on the white part is appropriate. That looks pretty good. The gold is nice and shiny. That's pretty good. You can see her, I don't like the discolored knee. I don't think that's accurate. I watched some clips of this so I could review it a little bit better. I think the texturing, like the rotting flesh, is good, but the knee looks weird. But the rest looks pretty nice. And they did get to the face. Now you can't take her helmet off, and we'll talk about that in the accessories. They did get the face under there, the rotting flesh, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the detail work is pretty good on the sculpted parts. I don't love the way they did the hair because it's very different where it comes out of the head, and then to this part, totally different color, totally different finish. I don't think that's a great design, frankly, but we'll get to that in the articulation section. But you have three different versions of the hair. We have the joint, this piece, and this piece. Don't like that. This, on the other hand, is just wonderful. The cape is great. They did a really, really good job making that look awesome. That's really well done. But assuming it's wired, because it does hold some pose, it's not a heavy enough wire. So Bandai kind of pooped the bed on that one. The wire is almost completely worthless. So aesthetically, it does look good, but we're already starting to see some issues. Oh, you know, the one thing I have to talk about, I know she's supposed to be like exaggerated and extra lanky. They did too much. I checked this specifically because I knew she was supposed to be this way, but I went back and looked at the videos again of people playing the game. She's not this lanky. Her arms are too long. This one especially, maybe this one too. It's not terrible. Once you pose it, you won't notice it as much because, like I said, it is supposed to be exaggerated, but I think they just went a little bit too far. So yeah, she looks pretty good, but for the price point, I'm not sure she looks good enough. I'll go 8 out of 10. This part right here just doesn't look nice enough, particularly this piece. So that's an issue, but otherwise not bad. Now, as far as accessories go, you do get an interchangeable skirt piece, or whatever you want to call this, and the only difference is that it's split on the back. Now, the one I have on her is actually the accessory, but still doesn't matter. You get both. This one is 3 parts, so it's split for posing. This one doesn't. It doesn't have a split at all. But you can see it's very plasticky on the inside. That's what the other piece looks like on the outside. There's some shading. It's not very good. Why is there a T there? What is that? Yeah. Accessory-wise, so far, we're not doing great. Now, for hands, you get 2 relaxed hands, 1 fist hand, 1 open hand, and then 1 hand holding the sword. That's it for actual accessories. The sword looks good enough. That's fine. The hand holding it permanently, that's fine too. That makes sense. But they missed something. Her arm, like I knew this even before checking clips to make sure I wasn't doing something wrong or thinking I was wrong about the character in the game. Her forearm connects to the freaking sword. Like there's a big mechanism that grabs the sword. Where is that, Bandai? It's not there. And I get that it's not always there, like she can just hold the sword normally, but basically once she's introduced, she's got the freaking thing holding the sword to her forearm. We don't have that at all. There's like a little slot here, but that's nothing. That doesn't do anything, so don't like that. We're missing a chunk. That should have been an accessory. And that you can't take the helmet off and you don't have any extra hands. So we're missing a lot. Then we're also missing the giant flower thing and wing. No, I know we're not going to get that from Phase 2. Anyway, we do get a display stand, so that's cool. Accessory-wise, 3 out of 10. It's not enough. It's just, we're missing stuff we shouldn't be missing, so that sucks. Alright, now, let's see if it can pose. Maybe the articulation's really good. We already talked about the hair a little bit. I'll talk about it some more. I don't like the way they did this. They didn't put anywhere near enough finesse. It's like they're doing just the most half-assed stuff sometimes. This hairpiece here should have been curved more so that it wraps around, and it should have been soft so that you can do this without it looking just goofy. And then the joint is fairly, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, yeah, it's a different color. It's pretty obvious. It doesn't look great. It's essentially a ball hinge, but you're not going to get much out of that, so that's a bit of a bummer. The head moves around well enough, I guess. Doesn't, I mean, like, she's not the most acrobatic, but she does move around a lot in the game, so I was expecting better posability. This piece here, this hard piece, it's way too stiff. And it has like a little hook on it in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It tucks like onto the straps here to kind of hold it in place. But it gets in the way of everything. Unless you just... Well, even then, you can't lean her head to the side because of the way they sculpted it. This whole area is just too cluttered up. This didn't need to be a separate piece. It really, really didn't. And making it a separate piece only gets it in the way. So, I think that sucks. And then I already mentioned how the cape is wired, but it doesn't hold itself up at all. So, it's a nuisance. It's a problem. Now for this shoulder, we have her shirt piece, which is just split. That's supposed to be like all one thing, like a ruffle type deal, and they just cut it. Make it one piece. So that's a side note, but the other problem is this ball peg that holds her arm, it's not good enough. When the cape is down, the arm can't hold up the weight of the cape effectively because of that ball. And the cape's not that heavy, it's too loose. She has like a butterfly joint in there, so the arm can move well enough, but the ball itself is too loose. At least in some positions, there's not enough retention, so that's kind of annoying. And then raising her arm up, you can do it, but as you can see, like you want that up there, right, so that it looks good, but when you raise her arm, because of the way they did it, it falls down, and you end up with a gap in the peg for the ball. So this shoulder is not well enough done. It's not well enough executed. You do get a bicep swivel underneath this, so that's pretty good. I'll take that. And then for the elbow, this is a soft piece, so you still get good range on the elbow, which isn't the best, but it's good enough, and it does rotate there as well. So it would be functional if the shoulder was just stronger, and this was a soft piece too. Cutting that piece up makes it look like crap. That was very, very poor design. Unfortunate. Alright, and then the wrist's really, really soft, really loose. It's a ball hinge, but there's like no retention in any direction. It's not purely floppy, but it spins and it moves around way too much. Now luckily she doesn't have to hold anything with this hand, but it is just, again, Bandai's oversight is becoming a problem. Now for this arm, which isn't removable by the way, and I think it probably should be, like they should have put some more effort into this figure. This arm should be removable because when you first meet the character, she doesn't have it on. But it barely moves around. Like, there's no butterfly or anything. It just wiggles. This moves a little bit. And then you have your hinge. So she can get her arm up to horizontal, and that's fine. And then she can rotate it forward. But there's no butterfly. And this is the sword swinging arm. So why does this not have any sort of range? Like, this whole gold area could easily be a butterfly joint, but it's not. So it doesn't do anything. You get your bicep swivel, but that's really loose. You get your double jointed elbow, which I know why they did this. This is basically how it's designed in the game. It doesn't have anything back here, which is weird. It's a weird choice that it can bend backwards, but it can. So I can't fault them too much, but the way they did this, I don't love. But whatever, the elbow is functional, so I'll give them that. But again, we're missing this thing at the wrist. You can't rotate the forearm. Oh yeah, you can. So again, we're missing this thing at the forearm here, at the wrist thing, and you can rotate the forearm. So that's nice to help her get the sword look like it's kind of connected to it. Like it will tuck some into that little slot, but it's certainly not what the game has her doing. Like there's a whole little scene of the sword connecting to her forearm, and like we're just missing that whole piece. That's driving me insane. There's a whole lot of missing stuff there, so that sucks. Luckily the sword is light so she can hold it, but you still don't get much posability here. Now for her torso, you would think you'd have a lot, and you get some at the top here. She can lean back. She can't lean forward too much. Side to side is pretty limited also. They made this way overcomplicated just to give her this. And it's like, why, Bandai? You can't even see it. You can't even see... Get these things out of the way. When she's just standing there, you can't even tell it's a different piece. Like, it's slightly closed up more, of course, but that's it. You can't see all the seams. So why did we need this whole extra piece for really no purpose at all? But if you try to move her lower torso, it just falls apart. There's not enough room in there for her to use it. You can see the skirt piece comes right up to the ball. And you can see there's no room around the ball in there, or the socket in there either. So as soon as you try to move that lower torso, other than a waist twist, but even then there's almost no range, it's really, really limited. You're going to have to do all of your work on this upper torso joint, which is annoying. For the hips, there's no drop down. That's good. They do kick up pretty nicely. Going out to the side, they work pretty well. They're a little bit loose, though. The plastic is too strong for the joint, so that's a bummer. They do pose back. The hips have good range on them. They're just not strong enough to fight the plastic. Double jointed knee. Is it technically a triple joint? What is going on there? I don't think so. I think it's just part of the design, and it just looks like articulation. Double jointed knee has good range, so I'll give them that. And we'll look at the other leg in a second. Then the ankle, enough range. And then the toe is fine, but it's loose, so she's going to have balance problems. But otherwise, the feet are fine, and they do look good for the source material. The little robot feet are kind of cool. This leg, same basic thing. It has the range, but it's way too loose. They gave her a stand, I guess, because they figured, well, we're not going to work on tolerances, so we'll include a display stand for this one. But yeah, the knee works fine, and the foot's the same. So, like, you'll be able to pose her enough, but this arm's a problem because it's too loose and it gets ugly, but you can hide that with the cape a little bit. And then this arm's a problem just because it doesn't have a butterfly joint where it should have more range. So and then the neck is an issue because you can barely move the head, and the hair kind of, like, the articulation's pretty bad on this figure, honestly. There are spots that are fine, and it's not terrible, but it's not anywhere near as fun to handle as it should be. It should be easy to pose this big lanky figure, and it's not. It's lanky and awkward. It's kind of a pain in the butt, especially dealing with this shoulder constantly dropping down. That sucks. And I really want this to have a butterfly joint. Every time I try to pose it, I want to do things with it that it just can't do. So that kind of blows. I'm going to give the articulation only a 6 out of 10. It's unfortunate. And now it's time for the final verdict. Well, my biggest gripe is it's missing this thing, because I could live with the articulation, and I can live with the plasticiness, and it looks good enough otherwise. You'll be able to get it into some poses. For sure, it'll pose up, and it'll look good enough, so if you're really into the game and the character, then I think you'll be fine, but am I nuts, or is this like a huge oversight, a huge problem that this mechanism is missing from her arm? Because that's kind of like a key thing for her character. So that bothers me a lot. So I don't know, it's like, it's too expensive for all of the flaws it has. If it didn't have those flaws, I could justify the price. But at this price point, with these flaws, I don't think it's good enough. I think Bandai's not playing their A game, like, at all anymore. Or almost. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 7 out of 10. It's good enough. If you really like the character, if you like the character design, you'll be able to enjoy the figure. It's not like it's a pile of garbage or anything. But given the price point, they could have done so much more. did they put all of their budget into this? Like, it does look cool, but it's on the back of the figure. So how about we make the front, like, make the figure work and then give her a cool cape? But yeah, it's just not there. It's very unfortunate because I was excited for this one, even though I haven't played the game. It's like, I know it's a really cool character. I like the big sword and everything, but they just dropped the ball. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's going to be it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.